Hey guys, it's Nick, the Metal Nerd, back for another episode of the Metal Nerd Radio Show. What is up, guys? Good to be back as always, getting back in the groove of things over here for the Metal Nerd Radio Show podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Spotify is more exclusive material. You get a little bit longer content where we jam some songs and stuff that I can't usually do on YouTube. Where that's usually I post like clips of the show that I can use without getting claimed for the most part. Check that out. Like and subscribe on the YouTube channel or Spotify if you want exclusive content. Alright, so we're going to start off today talking about Shadow of Intent Ben Deurr, who's currently facing allegations of domestic abuse. Yet another vocalist in the metal scene accused of something terrible. Seems like a pattern that I'm not liking to see lately. On February 7th, a woman identifying herself as Deurr's significant other shared a series of posts including video footage of an argument, photos of their injuries she claimed were caused by him, and screenshots of an alleged conversation related to the accusations. These claims were initially posted to her Instagram, but her account has since seemingly been deleted. So at that point, Deurr hadn't really said anything yet. Fortunately, I didn't catch in time to see like the pictures or video. I mean, not that it's it's important, right, to see the details because want to know essentially how bad this was, because I think most people can just, I don't know. The problem with this scene is that most people kind of shake it off, and then be like, oh, it's about the music, not the artist, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, guys, we did that with Tim Lambesis, and, that's all falling apart for him. So, but that was a little bit more different kind of situation, obviously. She did give more of a clarifying statement on the situation. She said, most of you don't know me, but I owe everyone an explanation for the video and pictures I posted. Ben and I have been struggling in a toxic relationship for a long time. Essentially, we're just not compatible. I love him, and I don't think that will ever go away. He's the best dad I could ask for Max. Unfortunately, though, I was not treated well when I was pregnant with Max. I'm not going to go into that because it's mental abuse and no one understands or cares about shit like that. And I'll be real, we were emotionally abusing each other. Even if we didn't know it at the time, because that's what happens in toxic relationships. So no, it's almost never just one person who's the problem. It just comes down to us not being compatible, as I said. The only time Ben ever intentionally physically hurt me was when he threw me across the floor when I thought I was pregnant. The arm bruises came from him holding my arms, and the skids on my knees were obviously from skidding across the carpet. Ben's not very good with personal space, and we would end up both getting hurt when I was trying to get away from him. That's why I usually just lock myself in the bathroom. When I was pregnant, I recorded him because it was the only way I could protect myself and Max. Stress obviously isn't good for the baby, and this is my issue with Ben. He just didn't take me being pregnant seriously. So this is why this is all coming up now. Well, I just found out I'm pregnant again, and I'm absolutely unwilling to repeat that cycle. These babies deserve better, so I foolishly went to the internet thinking that people would just tell him, you can't do that, and he would stop. Because unfortunately none of his friends who I originally went to with this information were willing to tell him that it wasn't okay. No one wants to tell Ben shit because fuck, he's Ben. I didn't want to leave him. I just wanted to finally figure shit out. Now I see that I was stupid for thinking like that. No one could ever have saved our relationship. And that's all it is. Just a shitty ending to almost 10 years of trying. So currently, while yes, I do have some support, most people are just shitting all over me, and it's disgusting. This is the last I will say regarding the situation. I just want to move on and try to heal. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, things like this do happen with people that aren't compatible or just people that are going through a really bad period. There is like instances, obviously, of emotional or mental abuse going back and forth, and that's something people should care about, right? Because I think that kind of helps, people feel a little bit more, how do you say, validated, in some of their feelings, or just unvalidated, whatever. At least if they kind of know whether or not this is what they're going through. And I think all she's looking for him is at least some accountability. I mean, obviously she's taking accountability on her part and saying that, she has participated in it. Um, and, she's taking accountability on that part. And I think that's all she was looking for from him, but that's not really what he ends up doing. Um, yeah, I mean, everything else, yeah, of course, people go through these things and people can just write off. But the fact that she's pregnant kind of is what started the whole thing. He's doing this to her while she's pregnant, throwing her to the ground, holding her down. If she feels like she has to lock herself in a bathroom to feel safe, then yeah, that's usually not a good sign that you're like going through something that isn't somewhat abusive. Especially, I mean, if your safety becomes a question, then that's really where you start to blur the lines of just a regular argument or, it's just something else. So while, she kind of took accountability and obviously she's doing this because she's pregnant again, doesn't want to go through anything like that with him again. So that's why she's taking the time to do this. And I know a lot of people I've seen say it's like, oh, this is not anyone's business, it's drama, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, she makes a point by saying she's going to the internet to try to get some sort of response from people so he can see like the error in his ways. Unfortunately, this scene has no problem just looking away from a lot of stuff like this. I feel like a lot of people looked away from Tim, and that's why we end up going through that whole cycle with him. Him going back to his band, and then everyone leaving him, and just a total shit show. So yeah, all she was looking for was, I think, at the very least, some accountability, right? Because I think if he took accountability and said, yes, I act in ways that, were not cool, at the very least, then maybe that would at least give him some leeway. But no, he actually just responded lately on his Instagram. He said, "Hey everyone, I need to clear some questions I've received lately about Britney Carrol, his fiance of nearly 10 years and mother of my children and myself. I've never abused or otherwise caused physical violence to any woman, especially not the mother of my children. Of course not while she was pregnant. After talking, she and I have come to the agreement to part ways and are going to go to therapy to be the best parents that we can be for our 2 kids. We both agree that the prior incident referred to in the video that she recently shared was truly an accident and are civilly working through things for the well-being of our children." Yeah, I mean, no real accountability. It was an accident. How do you accidentally? I mean, I don't think things come down to an accident. She ends up on the floor with scraped knees and bruises on her arms. I mean, even if it's like he just reacted, in such a way, like that obviously kind of shows maybe it wasn't intentional, but it maybe shows that it's like, okay, you probably have some sort of anger issues you're not working through, and it's coming out against your wife and unborn children, which is still unsafe. It just leaves her in this kind of vulnerable position, I think, with the court of public opinion. Which I mean, guys, we gotta try to hold these people accountable, right? We shouldn't enable people that hurt other people because more than likely they'll do it again. I think if we hold him accountable, then he'll be able to maybe see the folly in his ways and maybe not do something like this again. But if we enable him, I feel like this won't be the end of this, and we'll hear something else that comes up about him eventually. So, I think it's important. And then eventually maybe we'll get in a situation where, he's not in the band anymore, and, who knows. But, I mean, I could be wrong about the entire situation. Overall, it is their situation. Don't get me wrong, I'm here for the music, but it's good to be able to look at the music that we listen to and the people that influence us and know that they're just not a terrible person, and that their influence in music means something, truly means something, especially if it's like the vocalist and the main one, maybe who writes the lyrics and stuff like that, you want to be able to get behind what they're saying. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I just think it's important. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's good. They said they're good therapy for the kids and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just kind of a disturbing pattern that I'm noticing in the male community or deathcore or whatever, of these sort of allegations of abuse and stuff. So hopefully we hear no more of this kind of situation, at least from this side. I mean, yeah, we could definitely tag this as shady. It's definitely questionable at best, but um, I'm sure people are just gonna write it off anyway. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully, there's nothing more that comes out about this dude. But typically, when these situations happen, the stuff comes out. So we'll see. I mean, I like Child of Intent, so think hopefully they keep it going, and we hear no more of this kind of stuff. Hopefully, it's just an isolated incident.